Well, welcome to everyone that is here. I want to thank you, whether you're watching us live or you're watching the recording. We are super excited that you came here to join us and learn about these two fabulous solar eclipse cruises from Celebrity Cruises. I just want to do a little housekeeping first and introduce our team. So I'm Suzanne Klasen. I'm one of the co-owners of CruiseOne in Sholo, Arizona. And then my husband, Steve, if you can say hello,
That's
Steve.
me. Hi.
Yeah. He is our other co-owner. And then I want to introduce the newest member of our team. She just joined our team, Lauren Klassen. She is my daughter-in-law, and she is located in Tucson, and she is our office and business development manager. So introduce yourself, Lauren, and say hello real quick.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I'm very excited to be here.
All right, thank you. And we have one more special guest from Celebrity Cruises. We have Tiffany. So, Tiffany, if you could unmute yourself and say hello real quickly.
Hi, how are you? Thank you
All
for
right.
having me.
And Tiffany is our business development manager with Celebrity Cruises. So she's actually, I'm a new member of her team. She's a new member of our team. We're super excited because she is one of the best people representing Celebrity Cruises and always does such a great job of presenting the brand and supporting me as a travel agent who also represents the brand. So let's get going with our slideshow. And first thing I'll do is go over tonight's agenda. So I'm having trouble getting the slide to advance. Give me just a second. There we go. Okay. So what we're going to cover tonight is the overview of the two celebrity solar eclipse cruises. I'll provide details and highlights of those. And then Tiffany and I are going to present to you the celebrity difference. What makes celebrity the best choice for your cruise vacation? And then we'll talk about our exclusive amenities that we have for people who are attending this webinar and book one of these cruises. And you're ready, set sail. It's going to be magical. So let's get started. So our two cruises that we're featuring, we have the 14-night Spain and Portugal solar eclipse. This is on the award-winning Celebrity Apex ship, which is one of their brand new Edge class. It is a highly rated ship. The other ship is as the 7-night solar eclipse from Iceland. Now, what I need to let you know up front about that one is that I sold out of my group space in 2 weeks for that cruise. So I still have lots of group space at great pricing for the 14-night, but the 7-night, we do have some special offers for you, but it's going to be at the current prevailing rate, which I looked up and put on a chart for you at the end of the presentation. So we wanted to host this cruise night because most of all, we have great pricing on that 14-night Spain and Portugal solar eclipse cruise. But we also, if you want to do Iceland, we can still get you in on that. And I'll let you know about that a little bit later. So let's talk about the solar eclipse. Uh, it is going to be the path of totality, runs all the way here from the Mediterranean, all the way up into Iceland and Greenland. Uh, and so it's kind of exciting. There's a lot of great places where you're at sea, you're going to be in the path of totality. So it'll be completely dark during the solar eclipse. Hang on. I don't know why my slides aren't advancing. Um, there we go. Finally. Okay. I apologize for that little delay. So it's on August 12th of 2026. And this chart is nice because it kind of shows you where in each time zone the eclipse is going to start, when it's going to be at the maximum, so that total eclipse point, and then when it completely ends. Now, Steve and I, we just happened to do a solar eclipse cruise this year. We were on the Volendam. We were like, okay, where's the ship going to be? Oh, it's going to be in Cabo on that day. And it's 95% on that day. And I had a lot of friends because it was in North America. They traveled to different places that were in the path of totality to see this eclipse. But we were just lucky that we got to see a lot of it. There's us, these are pictures we took with our cell phone all we did was we put our solar eclipse glasses over the cell phone and we got these great pictures. It was amazing. And with all my friends that went to see the solar eclipse this year and us getting this little taste of it, I knew that this would be something that people would want to travel to Europe to see in 2026. So as soon as these sailings were released, I took out group space. Now, Steve and I are your travel experts, and your vacation is what we have in mind. We have been in business for almost 12 or over 12 years now. We are explorers at heart, and we use our experience as travelers to help deliver to you your ideal, your dream vacation. It's all about you and making sure that you have the perfect cruise and the perfect set of information and always the perfect price for you to have a fantastic cruise experience. So your dream is our mission. These are just some pictures of us. We are very lucky because in this day and age, with the internet, as great as it is, especially on cruise ships now that they have Starlink, we're able to run our business from anywhere in the world. And we use that experience that we have as travelers to gain firsthand knowledge that we can then give that to our clients so that they have an amazing travel experience. I have some advantages of working with our agency versus just booking direct. We worked for you. We have tons of planning and expertise. We literally plan hundreds of cruises for our clients a year. And I'll tell you the best kept secret in travel. People don't realize this. By using a travel agent like me, you are not going to pay any more than you would going directly with the cruise line. And in the case of both of these offers, you actually get something more, either a better price or an extra booking bonus when you book. So you get all of my experience and expertise to help you have that dream vacation, and you don't pay any extra for it. So let's look at that first itinerary. This one is round trip from Southampton. So you fly into London and then we transfer you to Southampton. You have a couple of days at sea and all of these fabulous ports in Portugal. We went to Portugal for the first time this year, and I can tell you it is one of the most beautiful places in terms of art, history, food, wine, just about, so many things that make life wonderful is what Portugal is all about. And then Spain, of course, all the iconic places in Spain, Barcelona, the beautiful beaches of Ibiza, Malaga, La Coruna, that is the place where you will see the solar eclipse. The ship is going to leave at 4 o'clock from port. La Coruna is in the path of totality, but the ship will sail out and position itself so you are in the best possible spot to see that total solar eclipse. And then a couple of other ports in Spain and back to Southampton. So let's look at what each of these ports has to offer. The port of Porto, we spent a lot of time in Porto because I did a Douro River cruise. It was amazing. The local wine tasting, there's both table wines and port style wines, fantastic local beer. There's ornate palaces you can visit. There's funiculars, cable cars that go up the side of the hills because it's a very hilly city where you can get these fantastic panoramic views. You can take in a scenic cruise, like a day cruise, and you see some little ships doing that. These are the scenic day cruise boats. You can cruise up and down the Douro River as one of your tours. There's some iconic blue tile installations in Porto, which are synonymous with Portugal. It's something you see all over. There's a botanical garden there. Like I said, you can sample some of the local food. There's even a beach to which you can escape right in the area near Porto. Lisbon, of course, is the capital. It is the historic heart of Portugal. One of the things that people enjoy there is grilled sardines or maybe bacalhau, but if fish is not your thing, you can ride a streetcar or a funicular there. You can experience the Belém district, which is famous for its monasteries and monuments. Both of these things you see here are in the Belém district. Beautiful monastery there with an old world church you can visit. There is a food market that you can take a tour, taste all the local different foods. There's also a beach to enjoy if that is your thing. There's many parks all around town, botanical gardens, and you could take a trip to one of the neighboring towns and see some of like the royal and aristocracy houses. So lots of stuff to do in the beautiful city of Lisbon. Now, Palma de Mallorca, and I have to tell you, these pictures that I'm showing, the last couple ones, have all been my own pictures that I took when we were there last year. So there is a amazing cathedral. You see it right here, right in the heart of Palma de Mallorca. Nearby, there's castles and palaces. There's a beach called Palm Nova. There's some tours that you can go to underground caves or small botanical gardens. There is a small boat tour that you can take that takes you into the caves. The local food market is a great opportunity to sample some of the Spanish specialties, and you can take in some of the architecture. They have an area that's called the Gothic Quarter. There's also a chance to sample olive oil. You can ride a vintage streetcar or enjoy a day swimming. There's lots of hidden coves and beaches. And of course, if you're a wine drinker, there's a chance to do some wine tasting in this area. Now, Barcelona, you probably might want to stroll the famous Rambla Street and people watch. There's all kinds of living statues, all kinds of interesting things up and along that boulevard. There's a famous Gothic quarter in the area. You can see some of that old world architecture. You visit the cathedral. My favorite thing to do in Barcelona is visit the La Sagrada de Familia Basilica. You could literally spend hours here. It's actually still under construction, but there are many parts that are complete or complete enough that you can tour. You can take an elevator up and go around all these different spires and see some of the artwork that's up there. You can visit some other things designed by Antonio Gaudi. There's a famous Parc de Güell where it has a lot of mosaics and fanciful buildings. There are several famous buildings also designed by Antonio Gaudi. There's one that looks like a dragon. So beautiful things to see in Barcelona. Either you can even head up to a place called Montjuic and take the cable cars across to see panoramas of the city. Chocolate Museum, Picasso Museum, the list, National Catalonia Museum. The list goes on and on of what you can do in Barcelona. Ibiza is most famous for its beaches, and its beach clubs. And also, there's a chance if you're a wine drinker to try some of the regional wines. They have these beautiful rocky coastlines with these crystal clear waters. And there's even some caves that you can explore. This cruise has a late night departure, so you might be even able to take in some of that famous nightlife that Ibiza is known for. Malaga, Spain. These are actually, again, some of my own pictures that we took most recently. They have this beautiful, like Spanish colonial type architecture. There's shopping, beautiful shopping street there. Right in the heart of town, there's a Roman ruins museum that you can go into. But if you climb up the hill, you can kind of peek over the fence and see some of those Roman ruins that are still being excavated there. You can do a tapas and wine pub crawl. And again, I've mentioned the shopping, and there's also some Moorish architecture in the area. And La Coruña, Spain. This is a famous seafaring city. It has been a port and a gateway for world for over 2,000 years, and it's known for its just beautiful panoramic ocean views. It's the capital of Spain's Galicia region and has a 2,000-year-old history. You can explore the old town. It has cobblestone lanes, rolling hills, historic architecture. There's even the Tower of Hercules, which was built as a lighthouse during Roman times and is still working today. And again, there's a spectacular beach there. So if beaches are your thing, you can check that out. And there's also some great high fashion shopping there, as well as some more affordable shopping on some of the more commercial streets. Really a great place to visit. And then we have the eclipse. So you'll get back on the ship. The ship leaves at 4 p.m. You'll sail out into the path of totality. At 6:45 will be that maximum eclipse time. And it completely ends at 8:57 p.m. So a wonderful opportunity for you to be up on deck. I recommend that you do bring your own eclipse glasses. I would think that Celebrity would supply them, but you wouldn't want to be in the eclipse without them. So Holland America, because we were only in the 95%, they didn't supply them. So we were really glad we had them because we were able to watch the eclipse fully. So then you still have more of Spain. Even after you see that solar eclipse, you get to go to Bilbao, which is in the Basque region of Spain. It's the gateway to places like Vitoria, the Rioja Rhine region, and the Museo Guggenheim, the Guggenheim Museum. You can start with a bus tour of the city to kind of get an overview, or simply just take a stroll on the Casco Viejo, which is the old quarter. They've got 14th century architecture. They have a wonderful kind of boisterous bar district with lively, eclectic shops, and you can do tapas, and there's street performers and plaza. And then if you're into gastronomy, a lot of really fine restaurants have opened in the area, and they still have great affordable prices. So lots of things to do in Bilbao. Then you return to Southampton. You could either transfer to Heathrow and fly home, or transfer into London and extend your stay in the UK. And if that's something you want to do, I'm an expert at planning little city stays in places like London, so I can help you have a great time there in London as well. Now, we're moving on to Iceland. So I'm going to go pretty quickly through this, but you can definitely still book this. It's just going to be at the current prevailing rate. I sold out my group in 2 weeks. So this has been a very popular cruise. So you get an idea. It's pretty much in the West Fjords. You're going to have, and I'll go through what each of these ports are. It's going to be an amazing itinerary. So nice thing about Iceland is Hollywood discovered it about 10 or 15 years. James Bond, Game of Thrones, Star Wars, Star Trek, Captain America have all come to Iceland to use it for their filming locations because it's so picturesque and otherworldly. But it does have a very cosmopolitan city in the city of Reykjavik. This is the beautiful concert hall that they built there recently. The capital city is just home to 228,000 people, and there's less than 500,000 people in the whole country. So it's you get a little bit of everything in Iceland. Of course, it's known as the land of fire and ice. With all of the volcanic activity that they have there, you get beautiful things like black sand beaches and plenty of thermal hot springs for you to enjoy for bathing opportunities. And don't worry too much about the volcanoes. They're generally very gentle fissure eruptions that have little to no impact on tourism. And some tours, if it's active, they can even take you to a safe place where you can view the volcanic activity from a distance. It's also the land of ice. There are many parts of Iceland that are still glaciated. So if that's something you're interested, you could take a tour out to see some of those things like the glacial lagoon. It has an amazing, rich history that dates back to the first millennia, and it continues on into the 20th century. We visited the National Museum of Reykjavik, and they have some of these artifacts that are from the colonial times for them. And the first people to live in Iceland actually came from Europe in about 700 to 900 is when they first started colonizing. The first settlers were pagans, and then at some point they converted to Christianity, and they have this beautiful modern cathedral in downtown that was actually completed in the 20th century. So beautiful things to see in Reykjavik. Oh, and did I mention that there are several waterfalls? Waterfalls are one of the big attractions in Iceland. So I can help you make sure you maximize your waterfall time if that's something you like. So the first place, the cruise is going to start and end in Reykjavik, and you actually have an overnight at the last day of the cruise in Reykjavik. So this was the first permanent Viking settlement. It's today's capital. The name actually means Smoke Cove because they would see some of the thermal springs rising up, and they thought it looked like smoke. It hosted the summit between Reagan and Gorbachev that led to sort of the peace accords and the de-escalation of the Cold War. And it's also the center of culture, art, history, and it's the gateway to the fabulous Golden Circle tour. And on my next slide, you can see this is the Gullifoss or Golden Falls waterfall that you see on the Golden Circle tour. And this is the geyser that you see. So much to see and do. If you want to come in early or stay late, I am an Iceland expert. I have been there 5 times now. And by next summer, I've been there 6 times. So I am definitely the person that you want to work with to help you plan your days pre and post in Iceland. Grundarfjordur. This is a little tiny town. It's like one of the most laid back places in Iceland. And some of the things that you can see or do there, again, look at those waterfalls. So this picture, I was so excited to take it. I took it this August, and it is the iconic picture that you see of Grundarfjordur, that pyramid-shaped mountain and the triple waterfall in the foreground. We actually went to this port twice because I did 2 cruises to Iceland this year. And the second time I hiked the other way, each is about 2 miles from port. I hiked to this other waterfall, which is a really tall, skinny waterfall. And you can see this waterfall from port. This one you can see as you're coming in, and it's about 2 miles to walk out to it, or there's a city shuttle. The nice thing about both of these walks is they're relatively flat. There's really no elevation gain. So then we go on to Akureyri, which is nicknamed the northern capital of Iceland. And what's kind of fun about Akureyri, and I'll show you on the next slide, is that they're kind of more into folk culture there. This was a souvenir shop, and they have one of these trolls outside. It was a whaling town, a fishing town. They actually have a lovely concert hall. There's quite a few things to do in Akureyri. This is one of the tours that we did when we were there. It is the Dimmenberger volcanic lava fields, the Godafoss Falls, and this we're actually going out to the sulfur mud pits. So some really interesting things to see here in this area. I have another slide. You can see some more things. This is that Dimmenberger lava fields. And at Christmas time, this park has all kinds of walking paths and caves and stuff. They light it all up with Christmas lights. And Iceland has a traditional of Yule lads, which are kind of like naughty Santa's little helpers. And different people from the community dress up and they portray the different characters. They're kind of like the 7 dwarfs in that they each have like a different characteristic, and they play them, and the kids come out here and get to see all the Yule lads. Again, the Godafoss Falls, which legend has it that when they converted from paganism to Christianity, the local tribal leader threw all the wooden gods over the falls to symbolize that. Some say that's apocryphal. It's just a legend. It's an interesting story. And this is the cave. If you've seen Game of Thrones, this is the cave where Jon Snow and Ygritte had their love scene. I went there and I go, how cameras in here? And they said, well, they recreated this cave on a soundstage. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And here's another one of those nature baths. This is the Miviton nature bath, which is kind of like the more famous Blue Lagoon, but a little bit more remote up by Akureyri. So a thermal bathing area with good healing properties, just like the Blue Lagoon. Again, this is my own picture of the Godafoss Falls, and we got some people for scale there. And I like to let people know that there's more than one way to get out there to see those falls. The least expensive way, I've researched this, you can take the 79 public bus. It's $12 each way to go out to the falls. You can also book an independent tour through Viator, or you can book a full day tour with Celebrity. It's going to have a guide. It's going to take you out to all those other things that you saw that are in the Akureyri area. And then other attractions in the area. It's very interesting because every single town in Iceland has a public swimming pool, and it's a thermally heated public swimming pool. And it is the social hub of the town. And everyone speaks English in Iceland. They learn it starting in 3rd grade. So if you want to have an authentic Icelandic experience, just go and buy admission to the public pool. That's a great way to really experience how Icelanders live. If you want a more upscale spa experience, right near the port in Akureyri, they have a free shuttle. They have the Forest Lagoon, which is a brand new thermal bathing area. They were through the mountain and they hit a hot spring, and that's where they get the thermal waters for this particular attraction called the Forest Lagoon. The botanical garden is absolutely free. So if you get off and you want to go walk through the botanical gardens and go to the city pool, those are all things you can do within a relatively close walking distance to the cruise port. So kind of give you an idea where everything is located. Here's the city of Akureyri. The Godafoss is right here at Foss Hall. So you either go through the tunnel here or there's a way around. There is, this is the Miviton Lake area, the Demmenberger lava fields, that cave, and the Miviton Lake baths, nature baths, excuse me. Then you've got your solar eclipse. So the eclipse begins at 4:45. The ship will be at sea this day. So it'll be right smack in the middle of that path of totality. 6:45 is your prime eclipse. And then 8:57, the eclipse ends. So it will be really interesting because normally this time of year, there's not full darkness. So it will actually be darker during the solar eclipse than it will be at midnight or 2 a.m. So for those of you that are interested in doing that, that's going to be a really different experience. But your cruise isn't over yet. You still get one more day in beautiful Isafjordur. These are some pictures of that area. Not too far from Isafjordur is a national park. And Celebrity also offers some very destination immersive excursions, things to go see, something like a turf house, which is how they used to build the houses. The walls in these turf houses are about 4 feet thick, and they're built of solid turf. So that was how they kept warm in Iceland in the winter. There's waterfalls, there's a chance to go see Arctic foxes, and even a chance to do a taste of Isafjordur. But there's other things that you can do that are much less expensive, and we can help you find, the right combination of celebrity excursions and independent excursions, and all timed so you don't have to worry about getting back to the ship. I always say don't do a 9-hour independent excursion if you're in port for 9.5 hours. But if you're in port for 8 hours, do a excursion independently in the morning. You've got plenty of time to make it back. And you won't want to miss the scenic sailing out of Isafjordur or Akureyri. They're all at the end of these beautiful long fjords with these beautiful mountains and glacially carved fjords. Best way to put it. So you do an overnight in Reykjavik at the end of the cruise. So on that first day, you can book this through Celebrity Cruises. You can do an all-day Golden Circle tour. And this is where you see this geyser, the Golden Falls. And this is a place where the tectonic plates between Europe and North America are splitting apart. And it makes these amazing chasms. There's even a tour where you can actually snorkel between the two tectonic plates. So actually snorkeling in a crack between North America and Europe. Very interesting things to do. Again, look at some other things that you can do. The Blue Lagoon is in this area. There's the Rake Janes Peninsula tour, which we did on our most recent visit. The South Coast tour. There are three incredible waterfalls in that area. So you can book these independently. You can do it on that last day when you're in port. You can book it through Celebrity. I can help make sure that you get the best value for what it is that you want to do in Reykjavik. Again, here's the Golden Falls. You can also do whale watching in Reykjavik. There is a really fun food scene in Reykjavik. I love this sign. Come in and try the worst pizza that one guy on TripAdvisor ever had. And then on the other side, it said best fish and chips. We had the fish and chips. It was delicious. I got to tell you, the reason taking a cruise to Iceland is great is because food is expensive. I think these fish and chips were like $40 a plate. But if you want to do something a little bit more scale, maybe for only like $20 more a person, you can do a gourmet dining experiences with many courses. There are lots of wonderful gourmet chefs in Iceland that are doing some of these amazing creative food and dining experiences. Of course, there's that architecture and culture. It is the capital of Iceland. And there's also the Blue Lagoon. But an alternative to the Blue Lagoon, let's go to the city pool. They have a beautiful city pool in Iceland. It's thermally heated. One of my clients did this the last time we were in Iceland in 2000. Well, it wasn't the last time we were in Iceland, but the last time I took a group, it's 2019. Excuse me. She had the best time. She said it was so much fun to just go and see the locals in the pool. So there, this gives you an idea of where everything is located. Here's the capital of Reykjavik. This is that volcano that's currently fissuring this Blue Lagoon in that area. The airport is down in this area, so it is about a 45-minute connection from the airport to the city. Um, you're flying in and out of Reykjavik, and they have something called a fly bus that you can book a ticket on, and it runs every half hour, goes from here to there. Least expensive if you're traveling with a small group. I can hire you a private car, and it's not that much more expensive than everybody booking the fly bus. The Thingvellir National Park is out here. Then you go a little bit further for the geyser and the Gullfoss. So that kind of gives you an idea where those things are located. This is the South Coast tour. Absolutely amazing. We had horrible weather, and yet look at what a great time we had. I have a picture of us in Vic. We had 60-mile-an-hour winds there. We still got to go out to this beautiful viewpoint and take this amazing picture of where you can just see where the lava flowed out and then it crumbled. There's a black sand beach on the other side of that. So that kind of gives you an idea of where everything is. There's that famous black sand beach. There's the waterfalls. It is a full day tour, but you do not spend the full day on the bus. Probably half the time is on the bus and half of the time is visiting all these amazing places. So I can help set you up with that. People always ask me, is there a chance we can see the Northern Lights? Well, for the Northern Lights, you have to have a clear, dark sky, and the sun has to be setting off those activity. August is a little bit early, but this is August 8th through the 15th. So there's a chance you could see them. And what I wonder, and if you go on this, you got to tell me, during the solar eclipse, can you see them? That's my big question. But the Northern Lights are really beautiful. There is a chance you could see them coming this late in August. People ask me, well, how do I dress in Iceland? So I say dress for the weather you have, not the weather you want. This was the day it was raining and 60-mile-an-hour winds. Again, you can see everybody's just dressed for the weather. Going to see that waterfall, dress in layers, always have a hat. I've got waterproof pants on and waterproof boots. And that just made a big difference when we were going in and out of things in the rain. Now, we had some days, our day in Reykjavik, the day before we did this tour, was like 55 degrees and sunny. It was gorgeous. I wish we had reversed it and stayed in town. But, you have a mix of beautiful sunny days and blustery days, and the weather can change pretty quickly. So, just like I said, the Icelanders have a saying, there's no bad weather days, only bad clothing choices. So dress for the weather and you will be very happy. So now I have Tiffany. She's going to come join me for this part. So if you want to unmute yourself, and we're going to talk about celebrity cruises and why you're never gonna want a vacation any other way. So Tiffany, are you there?
I'm here, yes.
Oh, great. Well, you want to take it with this slide?
Sure. So with Celebrity Cruises, nothing comes close. And that's the feeling we want you to have throughout the whole vacation and when you're looking forward to planning your next one. I have to tell you first, I want to go on the cruise now because I've never been to Iceland, and that presentation was fantastic. I'm obsessed with waterfalls, so I need to put that on my bucket list for sure. But yeah, these slides look a little familiar. So Celebrity is, we're different than everyone else. We want you to be able to vacation no other way than with us. And also one thing I want to say about our ships is our ships range, the two ships that she was just discussing, from about 2,500 guests to about 2,900 guests. So to some people, those may seem like a little bit of a big number, but I want you to know our ships are made keeping in mind that we don't want you waiting in line all the time for the elevators to go into the dining room and to the show. So our ships are designed to hold more guests than what we choose to put on them. So space ratio is important to us. And saying that too, I want you to know we have a lot of intimate, more I'm sorry, more intimate, thoughtful service of a smaller ship in many areas, but we have options of a larger ship. Fantastic entertainment, fantastic dining venues. Um, Even on the Apex is one of our newer ships on the Edge class. There's 4 complimentary specialty dining rooms, all themed to different
Yeah,
cuisines. So
yeah.
a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but-
I was just going to add to that one
yes.
of the things I like about Celebrity, we just spent 3 weeks on the Celebrity Ascent in November and December. And what we like about it is that you can go in Eden and have a quiet acoustic musical experience. You can go in the martini bar and do the party band or the silent disco. You can go in one of the other venues and hear jazz. And they usually have more than one thing going on at a time. So you pick and choose, but it's nice because when you make your choice, everybody on the ship is not at that event. So again, that feeling of space and calmness and being able to relax. If you want to do the silent disco, you can do that too.
Yeah, I like to watch silent disco personally. I think it's almost as entertaining as participating, but I see Lauren shaking her head, yes. Um, this slide I'm very, very proud of. We have several of our ships that are on the Forbes travel guide. Some are on the 4-star list and some are on the recommended list. It's quite a lengthy process to get on here, and we're up to several different ships. The Celebrity Apex that she spoke about that is doing that fabulous 14-night itinerary is on the 4-star list. She's one of the more recent ones that was just added. So very, very proud that we have this many ships recognized.
Yeah. And the thing I like about Celebrity is whether you go on the oldest ship or the newest ship, there is that can-do attitude from everybody on the ship that wants to make your experience exceed your expectations. And Celebrity empowers their employees to make their guests happy and give them that elevated experience.
So just like what Suzanne has been talking about, when we welcome you on board, we cater to the foodie, the culture enthusiast, the maverick. That's someone that likes to get off and do some of those independent things that she was talking about and explore on your own. We also always are looking for that indulgence seeker, right? Someone that maybe wants a little bit more space, so they may book a suite. It's going to spend more time in the spa, but still wants to get out and explore the world. What matters most to us, these are our pillars that we really focus on. Destination, which as you can see, we travel around the world. Food and drink has been a very big area for us. We have Michelin star chef Daniel Boulud on a couple of our ships where he has restaurants. And we really, really put a lot of energy and time into this. Elevated hospitality, Suzanne just could not say it any better just a minute ago. Our crew on board all of our ships is, to me, the heart of our brand. They are phenomenal. They love to engage with our guests, and they bring me the most joy when I'm on board, if I'm being very honest. And they are empowered to make your vacation so that nothing else comes close but a Celebrity cruise. And when you're on board our ships, we want you to feel comfortable. We want you to feel at home. We're not going to require you to wear any formal gowns, any tuxes. It's very much a resort, casual experience on board. And as we just talked about, we have a lot of live shows, activities. We're constantly doing pop-up entertainment when you just least expect it. So there's a little bit of something for everyone, no matter what your likes are. And whether you're looking to go to explore and come back all invigorated, or you just want to go and restore, you need some downtime, some rest, we can cater to either.
Yeah, and I did a little bit of both. Those last 2 weeks that we had, I had a big group on the first week, and then a couple of people stayed over for the second one, but that second week, that was me sitting in my balcony, drinking my champagne in my robe with my shoes off, very much relaxed that second week.
I'm not going to lie, I'm actually flying out tonight to board the Apex tomorrow, so I'm looking to restore. That's where I'm going. So here's a great shot. So the Edge class, we currently have 4 ships sailing. One more is coming at the end of this year, and that is where the Celebrity Apex falls for that beautiful 14-night itinerary. We also have the Solstice class with 5 ships, and that's where the Silhouette is. That's doing the 7-night, very, very popular itinerary. But she could still get you some space, and we might have a little booking offer for you too that we can just incentivize it too if you really like that 7-night Iceland itinerary. Something I just want to say about those ships is they all have a lawn club. It's real grass, real lawn. So I guess if you bundle up properly and wear the right clothes, you could grab a blanket and go sit on the lawn as you're like cruising through Iceland.
Yeah, or watching that eclipse.
Yes, oh, that would be great. You could have like a little picnic, grab a glass of wine, a little cheese crackers, it'd be fantastic. Um, I
I
can't
just
really
like
speak
this
to this
life.
except that, yeah, it's just, this is really what the experience is like. It's a little something for everyone. And if you notice, everyone's smiling. That's the most important
Yep,
thing. So,
exactly. Exactly. I like to list some of the parties. People haven't
yeah.
cruised before. They're like, oh, I'm going to be so bored on a cruise ship. Well, you can chill out if you want, but they have all kinds of fun things, dance classes, fitness classes, enrichment lectures on the destination, the Liars Club, which usually has the captain, the cruise director, and some other person on the ship. And it's like playing balderdash. They come up with a definition of some word, and it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's some of these captains could be comedians in their. They have the ABBA night. Some on some longer cruises, they have the Queen night. Just some wonderful theme parties. They're a lot of fun, and their shows are fantastic. This happens to be a picture from the Ascent. They have this beautiful show called Bridges, which is talking about like the bridges around the world and also the bridges between people as we communicate and share our love for each other. All the shows on Celebrity are kind of these wonderful themed jukebox musicals. They have a variety of comedians, singers, pianists, musicians, or the orchestra plays. There's so many wonderful things. And then on the Edge class ship, which is going to be that Apex, they have these wonderful little pop-up shows in Eden. They usually do it 3 or 4 times during the cruise, and they even include classic entertainment forms like tap dancing. So I really enjoy those shows as well. You want to talk about the dining experience on Celebrity?
Yeah, we have gourmet dining across the board, whether you would just like to do something more casual and go to the buffet. It's open for all meal times and it's casual. And honestly, there is an endless array of choices, and some of it is even made to order. You can make your own pasta, sometimes a stir fry bar, whatever it may be. So it's not all just already pre-made. We also have the main dining room that's included in your cruise fare for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then we also have specialty restaurants too that come at extra cover charge. But
Wonderful
a little bit,
experience.
and I also want to say we can respect all dietary needs too. So if there's any,
Yes, as my
yeah,
daughter's vegan, and we had a gluten-free person in my last group, and they did a great job with everybody.
yeah.
And the VP of North American Sales did a little thing for us before we had our national conference, and they said, "What's the one thing not to miss on Celebrity?" She said, "Don't miss the silent disco." So this is a cute picture. These are two of my very good friends, my daughter and my sister, having the time of their life at the silent disco. Um, the martini bar. So this is a fixture on all the Celebrity ships, and this guy holds the unofficial world record for 52 simultaneous pours. That flare show in the martini bar is not to be missed. So I want to show a little bit specifically about the Apex. I'm going to go through this quickly because I want to make sure that I'm respectful of your time. Some of the beautiful venues. There's the Eden venue, the Martini Bar. You can see this ship looks like a world-class resort. I mean, it doesn't look like a ship because the designers of this ship had never worked on cruise ships before. Again, doesn't that look like a beautiful resort that you would find, some five-star resort on an island? This is the magic carpet, which is this cantilevered platform. It also is used as a tender platform. So it goes up and down. It doesn't go up and down with people on it. Most of the time it's up here. Sometimes it's a tender platform, and sometimes it is an extension of the raw restaurant. So it can be in some different positions, but it doesn't maybe move but maybe 1 or 2 times during your cruise. Specialty dining on this ship. Tiffany mentioned Le Voyage by Daniel Boulud, the Fine Cut Steakhouse, Le Grand Bistro. Actually, and just some amazing restaurants there for on the Edge class ships. Now, what is your cabin going to look like? So the Edge class really blurred the lines between the indoor and the outdoor. They have what are called infinite verandas. So I'm going to kind of show you in this picture. This is your window. It can be closed. These bifold doors can be opened, and you can either incorporate this space as extra interior space, or with the touch of a button, the window comes down to this railing height. You can close these bifold doors behind you. You have a separate balcony. But if the weather is nice and you want to open that whole room up to the outdoors, you can open it up, and that creates your infinite veranda. These rooms are the aqua class, the concierge class, and the standard balcony cabins on the apex. And they are 234 square feet with one of the largest standard bathrooms that you will see. These rooms are transformable. These beds are full-size, king-size beds with rounded corners. They're not like two little twins that make a queen. They are full king-size bed, but if you are traveling with a platonic roommate, they can be split apart to make separate beds. This is some of the suites. This is one of my favorite suites that I've gotten to tour when I visited the ship. It is the two-story suite. I'd have to look and see what's available for suites, but just so you know, Celebrity does have these amazing, fully elegant, like full-on luxury resort type suites on their ships. Also, if you're on a little bit more of a budget, you have these ocean view rooms, and I have had clients that normally sail in balconies, but because of the price difference or whatever it was, I had a special deal on ocean views. They booked these, and you can look and see everything else is the same. They're just not quite as big as those balcony cabins. And they said, you know what? For the price savings that we had, we loved those cabins. Again, here's the concierge class and the standard infinite verandas on that ship. You see that window is floor to ceiling, wall to wall. Usually, if you have a balcony door that slides, you're going to have a part cut off and part cut off over here. It really opens your view and brings the ocean view into your room. Now, the other ship, this is the one that's doing the Iceland cruise. So the Apex is doing the Spain and Portugal cruise. Fabulous itinerary. If you haven't been to Spain and Portugal, or you've been to some places but you want to go back, I recommend it. The Silhouette is the ship that's doing the Iceland cruise. Just show you briefly a couple pictures of that ship. They have a forward-facing observation lounge, the lawn club. They have a fantastic, it's one large main dining room that just feels so open and spacious, beautiful ship. It's designed to remind you of champagne. All these light fixtures are like bubbles. This is like a champagne flute here. Amazing, amazing ship. We've sailed on this ship many times. There's an indoor pool, outdoor pools, specialty dining. There's a Tuscan grill. There's La Petite Chef, lawn club grill, the porch, which is a seafood place, sushi, Muranos, you name it. There's now, what I like about Celebrity is that the main dining room food is so elevated. You do not have to do specialty dining to get a good meal. But if you really want to splurge, it is worth every penny to do the extra specialty dining. So this is what the standard rooms look like on that ship. It is a regular sliding glass door with a walkout balcony for the verandas. And they are laid out. Every other room is either sofa by the door or bed by the door. And then this is the ocean view room. It's still a very generously sized room. It just doesn't have that extra balcony space onto which you can walk out. And, the really budget-friendly accommodations, look how beautiful these interior rooms are. And I'll tell you a little secret. If you put the TV on the bridge cam, you can always see what it looks like outside. So even though you don't have a window, you can make the bridge cam your window to the outside world. Or I always say this, get the best sleep of your life because it's completely dark. Nothing's going to wake you up. I put my daughter in some inside cabins and she goes, "Oh, Mom, I didn't mind at all. I got the best sleep." There are some suites on this ship. I'd have to look and see what's available on this sailing. I think there are a few suites still available. And now the part you've all been waiting for, and I'm still on time, we're going to talk about our group rates. Now, you have to have an advanced degree to know how to book celebrity, but you're in luck because I'm a master cruise counselor and I even have the highest level certification. I'm an elite cruise counselor. So with our group rates, this is going to apply to the Apex Spain and Portugal sailing only. We've got group rates that include drinks and Wi-Fi. They have refundable deposits and they offer more value over the individual sailings. Now you can book celebrity a lot of different ways. This is why I say you have to have that advanced degree. You can book a no perk non-refundable, drinks and Wi-Fi included non-refundable, no perk refundable, drinks and Wi-Fi refundable. Sometimes they offer senior rates, states rate, military discounts. So if you are military, be sure you mention that to me, because if your sailing qualifies for it, which is almost every sailing, you'll get an extra savings. Usually it's like $100 a person. And then there's group rates. So our group rates always come with drinks and Wi-Fi and refundable deposit. Plus, we're having a special onboard credit offer for people who attend our webinar. So there's also a flash sale going on. Now, it goes on, it kind of goes Friday to Monday. So we're in that period right now. You're going to save $300 per balcony cabin or $200 off an ocean view or interior. And this sale is scheduled to run off and on Fridays to Mondays through January 30th. And so we can apply this discount. It applies to the standard rates, but it also layers on top of our group rates. So I'm going to show you how we save you money with our group rates. So I actually have two allocations for the Apex sailing, the Spain and Portugal sailing. Okay. So I have two allocations. This is my own personal group that I took out when I saw that the solar eclipse sailings were going to be big. I have 7 of the concierge cabins left. This is my group rate with the $300 already taken off. It includes drinks, Wi-Fi, and a refundable deposit. The only rate that beats that is the no perk, non-refundable deposit. So you don't get the drinks package, you don't get Wi-Fi if you book at this rate. If you do the math, this is less than $50 per person per day to get your drinks and your Wi-Fi included. And if you were to buy the drinks package, even buy your drinks a la carte, a couple non-alcoholic drinks, some alcoholic drinks, and buy your Wi-Fi, I can tell you, it's going to be way over $100 per day. So this is a great deal. But if you don't drink alcohol, you don't use Wi-Fi, I can book you at this lower rate all day long. Okay, so I can book you at that rate, but the best value is going to be our group rates. Now, this is our group rate, 2 perks with a refundable deposit. That's our group rate. That's the same terms and conditions is $68.32. So we're saving you $1,200 per person by going with our group rates. This is my personal allocation, which I manage and handle. Now, did I do the math wrong? Is it $1,400?
Yes.
Steve? Okay. Yeah. Don't ask me to do math in public. Okay. Now, this is the other thing I wanted to show you is our headquarters has an allocation on this cruise. And I'm saying book this by January 6th because we have 2,200 franchises nationwide. And any of our franchises can book into this inventory. So it does still have the refundable deposit. I can do an E2 balcony. There's 7 of those in that group allocation, but somebody could call up another franchise in 3 days and book all 7 of those cabins. So book these ASAP if you want to take advantage of this. These E2 balconies are a little bit less than that concierge class. And we have Aqua Class, which I don't think we covered too much. Aqua Class has its own special dining room. If you're interested in learning about the perks of Aqua Class, I'm glad to go over that with you offline. Again, the only thing that beats these rates is the no perk non-refundable rate. So if you want the drinks and Wi-Fi, these rates knock the socks off of these rates. So I even have some insights in that allocation. So I'm happy to do a price quote with you and work with you to find which price point and which cabin category is going to work best for you. There's still lots of inventory available on Spain and Portugal, but it's going fast, just not as fast as the Iceland. So now I'm going to go over the pricing for the Iceland. So I took out my group on the Iceland. It's sold out in 2 weeks. I took my group space out. I held a webinar. I sold every single cabin in my group in 2 weeks. So, but we still can book you in.
We've probably booked 10 cabins in addition to those already.
Yeah, we've already booked some people into the individual rates. So just so you can kind of see, we've got the partially obstructed. Those rooms overlook the lifeboats and the roof of the restaurant. Some of the better ones are still available. So I'm happy to work with you. Need to get you booked as soon as possible if you want a balcony. Every other balcony cabin, except for a few suites, is sold out on that ship. I do have some clients that are sailing in suites on that. So I'm happy to work with you and find what's going to be best for you. There's still some ocean views, which are completely unobstructed. You saw them. They have the picture window. And again, the interiors with the best sleep of your life are also available at very reasonable prices. So you can still get the perks at pretty good prices with a non-refundable deposit, and then it's slightly more to get the refundable deposit. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I need to get through this presentation. Okay, now here's our exclusive offer. If you book a balcony or higher cabin, the first 10 bookings that I get in by January 15th, you're going to get $100 onboard credit. That's our incentive for you and our thank you for coming to this webinar. If you book an ocean view or an interior, we're still going to give you a $50 onboard credit. I just want to mention really quickly that Celebrity has a great flights program. At 11 months, we can talk about that. I'll fill you in on this. Book now, pay later, guaranteed arrival, and great prices. If you're working with us, you're going to get the best rates. You're going to get our concierge level service, our expert planning assistance for shore excursions, pre and post cruise, assistance with all your flights. And we're going to strive to make sure that every experience exceeds your expectation. And again, you get that $50 to $100 onboard credit. We do have some other groups. I'm going to go through these really quickly. We have some other webinars going on. We've got some river cruises in 2025. So reach out to us if you're interested in those. We do have a 28-night Alaska sailing on Holland America. Again, we have great pricing on that. Antarctica 2 ways in 2026. We have both a scenic sailing on Celebrity, where you sail 2 days in and around Antarctica. That's a very approachable price point for a 14-night cruise. We're also doing an expedition cruise on a 120 passenger ship that will have landings via Zodiac. You can see that's a different price point. So that just shows you what a good value the Celebrity, if you really want to visit Antarctica. And I've done that cruise twice. I can tell you it's fabulous. We've got a wine lovers cruise in March of 26, which will be hosted by Eric Allen of Paso Robles Winery Ascension Cellars, brings his wine on board the ship and hosts 4 events exclusively for our guests. And it's a fabulous experience. This is his second year to do this. On Celebrity Ascent, again, that fabulous 4-star rated ship. Amazing. If you're interested in Scandinavia, we've got some cruises in 26 on Holland America. We do some smaller ship cruises. Celebrity, I feel like, is a great medium size, but some people just want to be on a smaller ship and visit some ports the big ships can't get into. If you've seen all this and these dates don't work for you, we have other groups and discounted cruises, and we're also part of National Count. CruiseOne and Dream Vacations is part of WTH. We are the #1 retailer of cruises in North America. We get great price deals, incentives for our customers to book through us rather than directly through the cruise lines. So we always have great deals. Let me, these dates don't work for you. Let me find something for you. So again, summarize why we're all here. Book now for big savings. Join our exclusive groups. Book by January 11th or January 30th. It's kind of saying for up to $300 savings. If you're going to book into that national account allocation or the Iceland cruise, book as soon as possible, because those prices and that inventory could go up at any moment because I'm not holding anything. You get the group rates on the Apex cruise with beverages and Wi-Fi. And again, no matter which rate code you book with, you're going to get that $50 to $100 onboard credit if you book before January 15th. So again, we are Suzanne and Steve Klasen, owners of CruiseOne in Sholo. We have a low price guaranteed concierge level service and always here to do a personalized consultation for you. Here's all our contact information. Reach out to us, email, phone call. If you want to review some of our previous webinars, we put them up on our YouTube page. That's where you can find us. We also have a Facebook page that we invite you to join and get the latest from us. So I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and end the recording there.
Let's see if there's any questions.
Okay. Okay, yes. Are there any questions anybody had or comments?
If you want to ask a question, you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, can I just make a comment?
Yes.
Suzanne? Yeah, this is Liz. So I just want to, again, kudos to you and Steve. We traveled with you guys this last month when we were in the Caribbean. And I just want to say, everything, all of your advice and you taking care of us, you guys were just superior. And we just had such a wonderful time. And I just want to kudos to you.
Thank you.
I agree 100%. Thank you, Liz.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a great time sailing with you as well.
Any other questions? If not, we'll